In a small, secluded village nestled among towering green mountains, there once lived a family that struggled with the weight of poverty. The village was simple, with mud brick houses and winding dirt roads, far from the bustling world of cities. Among the villagers was a young girl named Aya. She was bright, curious, and filled with a quiet strength that belied her tender age of 5 when her life took a dramatic turn. Aya's family, unable to make ends meet, was forced to make a heart-wrenching decision. They sent their eldest daughter, Aya, to the distant city to work for a wealthy family. The thought of leaving her family and her home behind was unbearable for Aya, but she understood that this was their only hope of survival. So, with tears in her eyes but determination in her heart, Aya left her village, stepping into a world far different from anything she had ever known. Years passed, and Aya grew from a young child into a responsible and hard-working young woman. She lived in a grand mansion in the city, surrounded by wealth and luxury. Her days were filled with chores, helping care for the family that had taken her in, and learning what she could in the spare moments she had. But despite the passing years, Aya never forgot her family. She would often dream of the village nestled in the mountains, her parents' tired faces, and the siblings she had left behind. As she reached her 15th birthday, the longing to return to her roots became too strong to ignore. One night, as she gazed out at the city lights from her small room in the mansion, Aya decided that the time had come. She would return to her village and find her family, no matter how difficult the journey might be. With her modest savings and the blessing of the family she had served for so long, Aya embarked on her quest. The journey was long and arduous. She traveled by foot, crossing rivers and hills, passing through towns and villages that blurred together in her memory. All she knew was that every step brought her closer to the home she had left behind so many years ago. Finally, after days of travel, Aya reached the outskirts of her village. The landscape was both familiar and foreign. The mountains still stood tall and majestic, and the village, though weathered by time, still bore the same simplicity and quiet charm. But as Aya walked through the village streets, asking after her family, her heart sank. No one seemed to remember her or her parents. Determined not to give up, Aya continued her search. Eventually, an elderly woman in the village recognized the name of Aya's family. She told Aya that they had been forced to leave the village years ago due to famine and hardship. They had gone to a nearby city, hoping to find a better life. Though saddened by the news, Aya felt a flicker of hope. She knew where to go next. With renewed determination, she set off for the city, her heart full of both anticipation and anxiety. When she reached the city, Aya continued her search. She wandered through the crowded streets, asking anyone who might know of her family. Days turned into weeks, but finally her persistence paid off. A kind woman directed her to a farm just outside the city where an elderly couple worked. Aya's heart raced as she approached the small, humble farm. There, among the fields, she saw a figure bent over, tending to the crops. His back was stooped with age and labor, but something about him was unmistakably familiar. "Father!" Aya called out, her voice trembling with emotion. The man turned slowly, his eyes widening in disbelief. "Aya!" he whispered, tears welling in his eyes. Without another word, they rushed into each other's arms, both overwhelmed with the joy of their long-awaited reunion. Aya's mother soon joined them, and the three embraced, their hearts finally at peace.